Welcome to the Prepared for Nothing podcast. Junaid isn't here, but fuck Charlie Kirk. We're jumping in. Jumping in. I don't even fucking care.
All right. Well, where do you want to start with Charlie Cook on this?
Ooh, let's give a little maybe context so maybe some people can understand who we're talking about here. He's kind of the face of a website that touts itself as journalism, I guess we could say, called The Turning Point USA. Any of our Reddit fans out there may have seen some like front page posts about the Toilet Paper USA making fun of this motherfucker's 14-foot forehead. So he runs, I don't know if he runs this website or if he's just the face of it. I don't think that matters. I don't even want to fucking take a minute to look into it.
He's like the spokesperson of it, from what I understand, like the face of it.
He definitely is the face and the spokesperson, and it's kind of like a journaling agency, they call it, and he would maybe be considered their main anchor. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Fair to say. And he's a gigantic piece of shit. He's had... Tell me what you were just saying, actually, about his thoughts on...
So, I remember him from the critical race theory videos, and I mean, it just sounds like he doesn't understand what critical race theory is, but he's gone in confidently with what he thinks it is to now convince people of what it isn't. And that's why you have a lot of people that are just like, critical race theory's whole purpose is to tell white people they suck for slavery, but then in reality, critical race theory is just supposed to bring up the fact that people that were slaves were people and not property.
Humanized slaves.
Yeah.
Wow. What a wild...
Humanize slaves, humanize Native Americans, humanize all these minority groups that were slaughtered. But in like a lot of these old history textbooks, they're still labeled as just like indigenous people, slaveries, boundaries, hurdles.
Dude, I feel like we're still hearing that right now with what's going on in the whole debate with Canada.
Yeah.
I don't want to derail this at all, but like they keep talking about how they're finding these indigenous children, and I feel like there's these weird terms they're using, and I understand they're using it to describe the atrocities that were happening to these people, but I've read a few articles that felt like it was whitewashing the story, even though it was trying to explain it. It's like, you're using some terms that are really dumbing down what the fuck happened.
And I mean, that's the thing, is like, majority of U.S. history is told from the perspective of the colonists, the higher-ups, the white people in charge.
There's a phrase about that, right? Like, the winner dictates the narrative or something like that.
The winner of the war writes the book.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That's why you have groups like the IRA in Ireland that are labeled as a domestic terrorist organization because they lost.
Who are the IRA?
The IRA was the Irish Republic, and they were basically the people that were rebelling against the monarch in Ireland in, like, I want to say the 70s and 80s, maybe even the 90s. But, I mean... hated what was happening being done to Ireland, because this was when what's her name, Thatcher, was
Margaret
running things. And
hell yeah,
basically, for those that don't know, the way Margaret Thatcher ran things is that in order to save the economy of London, England, she decimated the economy of Ireland, and so Ireland did not like that.
What a bitch ass. What a good move.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like, in order to save the economy of California, we're going to ruin the economy of Wyoming or some shit like that.
We're going to kill Texas.
Yeah, it's just like absolute dick move. Shows that you do not prioritize that nation.
What a lovely person.
Yeah.
Who's worse, Charlie Kirk or her?
Her, easily. Bro, the amount of people... Did you see when they announced her statue?
No. Did it get torn the fuck down?
It didn't get torn down, but like when they announced it, they basically said it's like, we're also going to put it on a like 8-foot or like 11-foot pedestal to prevent vandalism, because they knew people would vandalize it. And all these people are just like, I reckon I can piss 11 feet or shit like that.
What?
Yeah, it's like me and my homies going to see the new Thatcher statue with a 11-foot ladder.
Nice, dude.
It's just like, you're not going to stop people. But yeah, so the IRA basically was like the groups that were making car bombs and shit like that.
Okay.
And you've probably seen photos of them. They're like the paramilitary with the black ski masks that were fighting the Royal Army.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was them. And a lot of, I mean, it wasn't necessarily their guerrilla warfare that swayed the British people, but it was actually more of like the outcome of them just being killed by the Royal Army. Because there was points where like they rolled up, the British Army did, and found like dead mothers holding a gun over their dead husband. And they're just like, don't touch the bodies. It's like this woman cared more about her husband than the Queen cares about us. Like,
oh damn, dude.
We're not touching anything here.
Motherfuck.
Yeah. But I mean, that's an example of how they are now labeled as a former domestic terrorist agency.
Right.
In England, in the United Kingdom. And it's just like, they were freedom fighters. And so that was part of it. It's just like,
well,
whoever wins gets to choose what everyone was labeled as.
So now we're talking about rewriting the story in Freedom Fighters and how that beautifully turns back to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
As you were telling me this, I forgot the most important detail that we didn't discuss beforehand when we kind of prepped this idea.
Okay.
One of the most things he's famous for is he sent 80 buses full of people from around the country to the January 6th riots.
Yes.
50-plus person buses. So 80 times 50. Fuck, dude, my math's not that sharp, but that's 400 people, right?
It's a lot, yeah.
That's a good number.
It's like 480, isn't it?
No.
No.
It's very simple. It's 400. Okay. Simple math. But he also left them stranded there, as I'm pretty sure. Like, he busted them there, and then the shit happened, and it got bad, and then they were like, a lot of the people who were trying to get out of there and were like, I don't want to be part of this, like, how the fuck can we get out? They were just kind of left stranded there. And I'm sure a lot of these people who were brought, from what I could understand, from, like, kind of middle America, I don't know if they had the money to be really, like, trying to fucking figure their way through D.C. and a riot and get out of there.
No, they couldn't even afford to live in D.C. for a night.
That's an expensive ass taxis, hotel rooms, flights. Yeah, like that's a lot of money.
The ones that got arrested probably got the cheap side of.
God, dude, they got to try and figure it out maybe for a bit. Yeah. Holy Christ.
But I mean, that's a common move even as far as Donald Trump goes. Because remember when he was campaigning and he had like all those rallies?
Right.
There was like about 3 or 4 of them where he could afford to bus people in, but he couldn't afford to bust them out. So it was like all these people would show up, and then like 80-year-old women had to walk 5 miles to get back to the parking lot where the buses picked them up at in like freezing cold temperatures.
Wasn't it in Omaha?
Yeah.
There was a rally in the freezing cold that left a bunch of people in hypothermic states, and they had to get ambulance to the hospital. God, I'm just trying to pull.
I think like 80-year-old woman died because of it.
Yes, there were a bunch of. I'm trying to find the number.
This is just like, oh my God, this is fucking ridiculous.
There were so many. It said the 8,000 turned up to this rally. It's not. I'm not finding a quick number of how many were pulled in through his buses, but it was a lot. It said CNN claimed, okay, here's what I'm saying. They needed at least 30 buses to get those stranded residents out of this thing. How many cities got 30 buses they can just fucking go start picking people up with, you know?
Especially not on, like, reservation in advance.
No. You're just going to call Greyhound, and they're like, we need 30 buses. And they're like, dog, they're in Atlanta, and like they're moving, you know.
Well, that's the other thing. This was like middle of the night too afterwards, so it's just like these bus drivers are up and ready to go.
So let's get to the whole reason I brought this fucking bullshit up. Yeah. This piece of shit. I'm cussing so much this episode. I'm sorry, guys. Good thing we marked explicit. If you haven't seen yet, he went on an absolutely foul and vile rant against Simone Biles, in my opinion, and he showed his true colors. Is this just... I don't even know if this is the shit he believes truthfully, if he actually thinks this way, or if he just knows that this will appeal to so many...
I think it's more of a no.
...middle Americans.
Yeah.
That he can come out here and I'm going to say some blunt things here, but like he can come out here and talk trash on the greatest gymnast of all time.
Yeah.
But because she chose to kind of bow out for some very, very legitimate reasons, he can come at her and just essentially be like,
yeah,
look at this girl that won't dance for us.
Well, see,
that was his whole argument. Why dance? Dance.
Yeah. And this is like the worst part about it is that he had a very easy lineup to direct his xenophobia at the Olympics committee for that.
Yes.
He could have easily just turned around and just like, the Olympics committee will not validate, an American
great store.
Yeah.
She's performing so great and they're undermining her greatness.
Instead, it's just like, well, I guess I better blame her because she's the reason we didn't get the gold.
You're not out there representing yourself. You're out there representing America. Fuck you. It makes me almost want to have every Olympic athlete be independent.
Yeah.
I've been watching the gymnastics, and when I watch the mixed groups and they don't even really talk about it, I'm like, okay, I'm weirdly enjoying it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just fucking weird all of a sudden. That, like, why are you so mad?
Yeah.
African-American female gymnastic, who's the greatest of all time, doesn't dance for you, and now you want to come out here and go fucking on your high horse. Right. The best thing you've ever done is just shipped a bunch of fucking people to D.C. and left them stranded there to invade the Capitol. And you want to say that she doesn't have enough country pride to go out there with broken bones in her foot and fucking tap dance for you. Eat shit, bro.
Yeah.
God.
You ever see the memes making fun of him that were like mock-ups of the Turning Point USA, and then it just has like some ridiculous dialogue next to it?
Dude, that's literally what the whole subreddit of Toilet Paper USA, because they turned it from TP, Turning Point USA, to Toilet. And it's literally just 100% they take all these memes of Charlie Kirk with him, and they just like elongate his forehead.
A lot of them, they like shrink his face.
They do all kinds of shit to fuck with him. Yeah. And it's deserved. Ooh, do you remember? Ooh.
Because, I mean, they were things like, if all colors matter, why do the blue crayons taste the best? And just shit like that.
Yes, dude. Yes. I'm going to make a comment, and I got to frame it here, okay?
Okay.
This comment is completely in a box from what we were just talking about. And we can go back to what we were talking about, but this statement has nothing to do with that. I want to clarify it at all, 100%. Remember when we were talking about ambiguous threats on the internet last episode?
Yeah.
And how I wish I could make them?
Yeah.
Okay, end of statement. So this piece of shit right here, eating blue crayons.
Yes, the blue crayon eating motherfucker.
Who's worse, him or Caitlin Bennett?
That's a tough one. Okay, so
I didn't even think of this till now.
I'm going to say him just because Bennett's just so...
No one actually really listens to her?
No, I mean, Bennett has actually done more
okay.
to start BLM protests than she has to, prevent anything from happening.
Is Caitlin Bennett the greatest Black Lives Matter activist there is?
Probably on the right.
Ones that don't want anything to do with it, but they're really making... Like, you were on the fence, and then you're like this white guy on the fence, and then you're seeing her bullshit, and you're like, man, I don't want to be associated anything with that.
So, Caitlin Bennett is great at coming out under the appearance of a strong, independent, conservative woman, and then ending it with a Karen outlook.
Do you know what she's also great at?
What?
Shitting her pants at frat parties.
Nice.
Have you seen the pictures?
No. Yeah, I don't even need to look up embarrassing shit about her. I've just seen the stuff that she's done. There was something on Father's Day where she went to try and convince beachgoers about stuff, and they're just like, "Can you leave us alone?"
Dude, she's so off base, and essentially all she did is get famous for fucking carrying an AK-47 around Kent State on the days that were celebratory of the Kent State riots. And she would just walk around as a white girl, fucking brandishing guns, all crazy.
Right. She was
for no fucking reason.
It's like the Southern boy's dream girl.
Dude.
Strong, independent, gun-toting, conservative woman.
She's just their dream girl, and she just out here 24/7, just like fucking.
But it's like there's something in the back of my head that knows if push came to shove, she would turn to like liberal ideals the second it came to it. Like if she got knocked up by someone she didn't know, or got into a hard financial spot, she would immediately jump to like abortion and welfare-esque.
Well, she did just get married to the dude who has, like, been by her side, like, filming all this shit. Been the, like, co-host in all of her videos. Like, the two of them.
Nice.
I don't know, dude. They're fucking... Yeah, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I had to bring it up. Just as, like, a fan of the internet and how much I hate this fucking horrid person also, Caitlyn Bennett. It's not that it's kind of alleged she shit her pants at a frat party. I'm trying to find the picture, but truthfully, it's like considered so not safe for work. I can't find it.
Okay.
She's laying face first.
All right.
And she's wearing a thong.
Oh, God.
And it's not like a little poop.
Just like diarrhea down her back?
No. There's like a 6 to 10 inch long turd coming out.
What the fuck?
That has been split by her thong into like 2 10-inch logs that are just hanging out in between the back of her legs as she's...
That's gross.
Dude, I saw the picture like unblurred and I was like, God.
Well, okay, how can you confirm though that's her if she's face down? Like, what?
Because it was at Penn State the year that she was there, and like there's a lot of pictures from this party of her in the same dress the same night. Like there's a lot.
I guess if there's like enough constituting evidence.
There's enough contextual evidence of like side pictures of her laying there.
Because I'm just gonna say it's like if you have a white girl in a thong at a frat party, that doesn't really narrow it down.
Yes, but it's I don't know. So anytime Reddit loves to just destroy her from it. 'Cause anytime any like conservative page tries to post any of her like tweets or anything, they're like, "You want my guns? Come and take it." And then all the comments are just like you want us to come grab that shit from your shorts before it got posted from the internet. She just gets blown up. She has to disable comments on all of her social posts now.
Because people just post.
Dude, it's 100%. They're all just trolling her. Every single comment is about it. And here I am shaming her for it, too.
Yeah.
I'm a good guy, right?
Sure. I mean, good is objective at this point.
Good-ish.
Good is objective at this point. It's more of like... I like to think of it as Anubis weighing your heart, your soul to that of a feather. What a lot of people don't understand about that is like, so the whole concept in Egypt is when you die, your soul is weighed on a balance compared to that of a feather. If you have a soul heavier than a feather, you go to hell essentially, and if your soul is lighter than a feather, you can float up.
Oh, it's a good soul is light. It's golf rules. So you want low score. Golf rules.
Kind of. So it's like the concept of like your guilt that weighs your soul down is what's being weighed. So you're internalized. So under that kind of inference, it's that if you die with a clean conscience, you can go to heaven. But if you die guilty, you go to hell. And there's also, I think they're one of the religions that have like this interesting concept where like almost everyone goes to hell, but they go to hell for less time based off of the type of person they were.
So if it was just minor shit, like
Yeah,
you stole a Snickers bar every time you went to 7-Eleven, like that kind of sucks, but like
consider like
you didn't shoot up the school, you know what I mean?
like let's say you have like, a dozen layers of hell, and you've been a decent enough person, but you got some guilty thoughts here and there, so you're on like level 3, and now you have to trek all the way up to level 1.
This sounds a lot like Dante's Inferno.
It's similar, but like Dante's
Almost
Inferno
opposite.
layers.
Dante's Inferno, you gotta go down.
No. Dante's Inferno levels are based off like your sin.
Right.
Specific.
So this is not.
No. I mean, to a degree it is. Like, if you're a murdering genocide fucker, you're probably going like way, way down there. But Dante's Inferno is more like each layer is a sin.
Right.
Like the 7 deadly sins. So like
Okay.
whichever one you're notorious for is you'd go to kind of deal.
Right.
But this one's more just like the degree of which you've committed sin. And
Okay.
Guilt.
All right. So it's not the sin, but the degree of like it's how.
So
okay, I get
it doesn't come down to are you a sinful person more, or do you feel guilt for your actions? Which is like one of the big things I think is more measurable, because
What if you're a sociopath and you don't feel empathy or guilt?
you're one light fucking soul.
You just get to go.
You just get to go.
Okay, sorry I interrupted you there like a jackass.
No, you're good. But if you think about it, it's like a lot of these conservative types definitely have this like moral compass in their head that it's like, I'm doing the right thing
Right.
by doing this. But then there's certain ones that are not comfortable or like have that subconscious guilt. Big one is Ben Shapiro, because when he recently was like talking about one of the people that transitioned, he kept correctly gendering them and then making a point to misgender them. So it's like, subconsciously he acknowledges them, but he's trying to disenfranchise them by intentionally going back and disacknowledging them.
What a piece of work, too.
Yeah.
We're just calling them all out today. Fuck you, too, Ben Shapiro. All right, I'm going back into that box, where it's isolated to anything we're talking about.
Yeah.
Remember when we talked about threatening people last week?
In Minecraft.
Oh, in Minecraft. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm out of the box again.
Okay.
Ben Shapiro, dude. His wife's dry-ass P-word.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they don't have a stand to stand on. It just seems like they're, and it's hard because I love comedy, and it's like in comedy a lot of times you're not trying to say the truth, you're trying to say the outrageous thing that will get a laugh.
Right.
But I feel like sometimes these other guys, these Charlie Kirks, these Ben Shapiros, are trying to do say the crazy thing, but not get the laugh. They're just trying to say the crazy thing.
Yeah, I think it comes down to it's like a comedian and these unhinged people can say the same exact thing, but it's like their delivery of it. So the comedian wants to deliver it in a way that's just so ridiculous it's funny, and they want to deliver it in a way
that's
so ridiculous
premises.
it must be true, and the government hates us kind of deal.
Satire. There's a word we have for that. God, how crazy. You're familiar with the god of satire literature, right? What's that thing? A Modest Proposal?
Try another one.
I'm not even going to try another one.
Because I thought Hemingway was a big satire guy, wasn't he?
I think we talked about this once before, even on this podcast. We might be twice.
I don't know.
Jonathan Swift. A Modest Proposal is what is taught to you by your English teachers when they teach you about satirical writing.
Okay.
And they want to, tell you the number one, not the first, but, the biggest example of it. Jonathan Swift, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he was English or Irish. One of the two, and I'm pretty sure he was writing about, in the Irish potato famine, and one of the ways they could get out of these famines of the world is that population's too high and there's not enough food. So for the next 10 years, we need to eat all babies.
Oh, I remember this one, yeah.
And the whole proposal is like, by eating all the babies, we get food and we decrease population for enough.
Yeah. No, the one that was used to introduce me to satire.
Satire.
Yeah, was it's the guy that wrote Cat's Cradle.
Oh, Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah, Kurt Vonnegut was the one that was it Ice Nine?
Dude, I just sounded so educated when I just knew who that author was.
I can never remember his last name, but have you read the one that's talking about when they build the bomb? And, like, the whole concept of when they bring in all these, like, estranged scientists to build the bomb. And one of them is just, like, he's an obsessive person. He's great at what he does, but he's easily distracted. So there was this thing where they needed him to help build the bomb, and he wouldn't come do it because he was so busy running tests on this turtle. So every day he'd get up and he'd go to his lab, and he'd just sit and watch a turtle all day. And and he's just like, I'm too busy right now. And he's literally doing nothing but just observing a turtle. And
studying hard.
Yeah, and it's like the turtle's doing nothing impressive kind of deal. And so they get tired of it. So what they do is the government goes and they just take his turtle one day before he gets to his office. And so he shows up to his office and he like looks around, there's no turtle, and then he just sits down and starts devising how to build the bomb. And that's like the premise of the book at the beginning, really. It's just like, oh, I guess my turtle's gone. Better start making the bomb.
Is that the, like, antithesis story to the guy who was, if I can name 2 fucking people in a row, I'm going to be stoked. I have created the thing that will destroy us. The guy who created
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, kinda.
He's the opposite. Oppenheimer was so smart and forced into doing this thing that he was like, oh fuck. And this other guy's like, I ain't doing shit. Okay, I'll do this fucking.
Yeah. Well, I think they even like parody it too, because I think at some point he says something along the lines of like, oh yeah, this is gonna kill everyone, and then gets back to work.
Dude, there must have been parodying.
Oh, 100%.
The whole time you were telling me that story, I was like, this seems like the antithesis, like mocking.
Such a joke concept.
Oh, wild.
Yeah.
What person could we make a joke antithesis character for?
Joke antithesis character. I don't even know. Because it's like, I'd love to see.
There's the easy ones that you can name. Horrid historical figures.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. H.
Yeah, I love the concepts of like, what if he became an artist and Germany just slowly dissolved? Like Germany just slowly dissolved and sank in size as like this guy kind of became a successful artist and then probably moved to like Belgium or something to increase his art.
Do you know what thought just came to my head? That was kind of an intrusive thought that came along that. Okay, so like, what if World War II didn't happen?
Okay.
Would there have been another World War II, maybe 10 to 20 years later? And could it... And this sounds so horrid for me to even bring up. I hate that I'm even toying on this idea. But it's the whole concept of zeitgeist, which you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're a victim of the time, not of who you are as a person. You're just...
Right. Well, okay, so this kind of comes down to is like, why did World War II not happen?
Did it not happen? Oh.
Like, what factor was removed to prevent it from happening? Like, are we talking the U.S. just never getting involved and it just played out?
I liked it on the original theory you brought up of what if Hitler got into art school and that. And I'm always... And this is like a philosophy 101 conversation, because in the zeitgeist argument, a lot of people argue that Germany was going in such a way that if it wasn't Hitler, it would have been
someone else.
Any other XYZ PDQ person.
Hitler wasn't the driving factor. Hitler was just a front man.
He was the puppet.
So yeah, and not even like the puppet. He was just one of the people in the front car.
Yeah, I feel really weird saying these things I'm saying.
Yeah, if you take him out of the equation, there was still 3 other people in the car that could drive.
Right.
And then not only that, but there was 4 or 5 other cars behind him. That even if you took out the first car, there's still 4 or 5 other cars that would have, it might have delayed it. So instead of it happening in the 40s, it might have happened closer to the 60s.
And would that have been worse? Because dude, our technology, I hate to say it, I don't know.
Well,
it's a really weird
because
thought.
our technology...
Our
technology increased because of the war.
I know.
So it's our technology probably would have stagnated until then anyway.
We also haven't, there's been no major, as far as I've been concerned, major bomb drops since, the fucking bombs on Japan, which is kind of whoa, we took it too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was very much the placement of, okay, here it is. Everyone can see it. This is
what we got.
This is the field study, so no one else has to do the field study now. It's everyone...
What the fuck, dude? That's so wild.
Everyone take note. Everyone who has made these now understand this is it.
This is what we're ready to do.
Yeah, we have capped. And, we have extended on it. The stuff that we dropped on Japan... feigns in shadow compared to what we have in our arsenal now.
Right, but nobody's done it.
Right.
There's a part of me that wonders almost if the world saw the impact of World War II, and there's a general sentiment around a lot of people all right, maybe we need to cool it on just trying to bomb the fuck out of each other,
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is that
I'm crazy saying this.
No, because the Cold War too also brought in the concepts of proxy wars, and that actually in itself, because we're still technically fighting to the degree the remnants of the Cold War.
Yes. Ukraine?
Well, not even Ukraine. It's everything in the Middle East is a byproduct of the Cold War. And so one of the things we have to consider is that because of the Cold War and proxy wars, it's been almost decided that World War III will never be fought on any of our home territories. We will most likely be fighting World War III either in Indochina or Africa.
Is that what a lot of the fear of some of these border conflicts going on surrounding, I think, India and stuff are, is
it comes down to it's just probably the reason that a lot of people have rolled over to China's claiming of places like Hong Kong and Tibet is that it's just easier to let them consume small fries than to let them fight over small fries.
Right.
Because it's we'd essentially hit rekindling of the Cold War if we try and prevent them from touching every small country.
Is that why John Cena fucking...
It is.
Bent over and took it in the ass and
he
apologized for even saying that Taiwan was its own company? I know that's financial for the movie industry.
He did it because the money wanted him to.
Yes.
But the money wanted him to because...
Because he said the wrong shit.
Because we don't want to have this Cold War over
exactly. That's what I mean. Country. It wasn't... And I think it wasn't even necessarily a money thing for John Cena. That dude has more money.
No, it was just a sales.
It was people bigger than him who have money bigger than him coming and saying, "Hey, dude, guess what? You need to go fucking backtrack that shit."
Because as much as it sucks to say, those small Asian countries they're nothing countries.
Right.
There is no benefit in our pocket to prevent China from just absorbing it. And as awful as that is, it's the reality. It's not worth anyone's skin to try and stop it from happening.
I heard another podcast talk about this actually on Flagrant 2.
Yeah.
And the only reason I bring up that somebody else brought it up because I don't want to postulate this opinion as my own. It's one I heard that I like, and I want to repeat it here. And it was talking about how the U.S. is pulling a lot out of a lot of influence in places very far away, you know what I mean? A lot of troops withdrawn out of Afghanistan and all this stuff. But now there's a lot of emphasis on places like Cuba and it kind of it's they postulated is America kind of just trying to be all right, we don't need to try and have this, we need to hold on to what we got
I want to say
because
that's true,
it seemed
but
like
we're also doing the opposite at the same time because of
right.
everything in South America.
Right.
So it's like, and that's the thing. I honestly feel like we should just let go of South America. Let them do their thing. I mean, we don't have.
Well, they're afraid because there's so many communist countries in South America, and China had so much influence on that. And I think the U.S. is scared of like the China. Hey, I'm gonna say right there, like the China taking over in terms of the economic impact and the like culture and the variety, and having some bad impact on like the U.S.
Right, but I think by keeping a hand in the U.S., I think when the U.S. keeps its hand in there, it's like, yes, we're preventing the child from touching the outlet, but all we are doing at the same time is making them want to touch the outlet more and more.
Yes.
So it's like...
Don't touch the stove.
Yeah, instead of, just pushing them away, we should block the outlet, not the kid, but we're not doing that. And so all we're doing is just putting all our effort into this, and eventually the hand gets tired and they go and touch the outlet. I mean, it's not even like China would need to come and interfere at that point.
You're right. No, but I thought it was interesting correlating to what you said with proxy wars.
Yeah.
It's like divvying up almost different parts of the world, these bigger U.S. forces. Not U.S., sorry, these bigger world forces, Yeah. United States, China, Russia. I think that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? Trying to divvy up the rest of the world is like, this is our spot. If you want to attack us, you ain't coming here, but come hit us over there.
Yeah, it's like even the UN is mixed bag right now because it's like I don't think Europe is in a condition to join in any kind of war right now, which is kind of ironic that the next world war will not include Europe.
Because they're the fucking World War starting champs.
Well, no, they're the World War participating champs, Europe as a whole.
Yes.
It's just like whether they wanted to be or not. And now we're at a point where it's like Europe is so financially shifty and culturally shifty is that I don't think they would be able to withstand a world war. I think it would cripple them entirely if they went for it.
So on a lighter note, the U.S. is 100% the back-to-back World War champs. I don't want to hear your argument. Yeah. That's a fact. That's not up for debate. No,
we won both World Wars.
We won that shit, all right?
Yeah.
Europe definitely started that shit. They talked shit, they got hit. I'm calling y'all out there, okay? Our friends that might be bots on SoundCloud in the Czech Republic or something listening to us, you got bodied, sons. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm going to do one last change of turn, then we might call it here for a night.
All right, let's hear it.
Topic I wanted to talk about that I don't know if anyone will care about, so we'll bookend it here at the end. Scarlett Johansson suing Disney over Black Widow.
I remember you mentioning that.
Have you heard anything about this?
I have not, but I did watch the movie.
Okay.
So
let's start off with what did you think? I have not watched the movie. So what did you think?
The movie was good. You kind of run into the thing of like, you've seen so many Marvel movies at this point, is that you mainly just watch it under the pretense of like, how does this feed into the big Marvel picture?
You know the storyline, how it's going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, that's one of the things about it is like, it's a good movie, but because of the universe they've created, you are now faced with, it's a good movie, but why does it matter? Like, I shouldn't have to go into it and be like, but why does it matter? I should be able, but you can't watch anything Marvel that's standalone.
I'll be honest with you, that's something that's kept me out of the Marvel.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I envy you to a degree.
I've never seen a Marvel movie.
Okay.
And it's just gotten to this point now where it's like, if I want to get into it, it's like, well, no, you got to watch Avengers 1 and then 2 and then Thor, and then you actually need to go back and watch this one, and then, okay, so then it's like...
So this is one of the nice ones is that, like, you don't need, you don't...
Does it stand alone?
To a degree. It stands alone for a portion of it. Like, they make references because it takes place in between. When does it take place? I guess it takes place in between Civil War and not Endgame, but the one when Thanos snaps everyone.
Age of Ultron?
No. Fuck, why can't I remember that one?
Infinity War?
Infinity War. So
Dog, I didn't even see the movies, and I just bodied
it takes
you
place
on
in
that
between
name
those
title.
two, like before they fight Thanos, but after, because she's like on the run. So it's like you really only need to understand what happened in Civil War to understand it. And then, like, to be real, she wasn't that big in any of the previous movies, so you could have missed her. And like,
so this one does stand alone a little bit, and
yeah,
it's
you didn't need to
too
watch as many movies.
And
to
then how
understand
about
it.
this is a second question? Do you think in the overall like Marvel plot arc line, if you missed that one, it's not too important? Is there an important like link in the chain there?
I think as far as the link in the chain goes, you're better off missing this one because then it makes some actions down the line seem more questionable to me.
Okay.
But they did actually at the end try and throw in their thing that's going to tie into down the line.
Right.
Because like the very end of it takes place after the last movie when she dies. And so it's like her sister or something who wants to get revenge on the Avengers for killing her, but like she sacrificed herself, so it's just like
eat shit, nerds. It's her sister.
Yeah, it's just like okay, but
so
not necessary. But okay, yeah. I think for the most part, it does a decent job at standing alone.
So the reason I bring this up, like I said earlier, she's suing Disney.
Yeah.
Because she claimed it was a violation of her contract she signed for them. They simultaneously dropped it in theaters and on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Her contract was originally signed for it to be only in theaters because Disney Plus didn't really exist at the point
it was pre-COVID.
It was pre-COVID.
Which is even more important. Mm-hmm. So when they signed it, the movie theaters were still open.
The movie theaters were still open.
So she agreed to a back-end contract that was light up front but heavy on the back end theater sales. Mm-hmm. And when COVID came around, she didn't renegotiate her contract, and Disney kind of reworked it behind her back.
Now, what they did do for her was that they basically said we're not going to release the movie until theaters open again.
Yes.
So they put it on hold for a whole year.
And they also are giving her a portion of the Disney Plus streams.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Even though that wasn't agreed upon before.
So here's the weird thing. It's on Disney Plus, but you still have to pay for it.
And that's, I think...
So
that's
with
why
a Disney Plus subscription, you can watch it for $39 or $29.
That's what I'm saying. Like so I'm thinking, like, I think she's trying to stir up... I don't want to say I think she's trying to stir up some shit that's not some shit. But it may be. The other thing that's a little skeezy is in this last year, the two top Disney execs, Bob Iger and this other guy, Chapek, renegotiated their contracts to have crazy bonuses dependent on Disney Plus streaming services. So there's a lot of people speculating that they kind of like fucked up on her contract for them to personally make money, and they pretty much told her, suck a dick,
Yeah. Because that was the thing. I mean, honestly, it was cheaper to go see it as a movie than to stream it.
You said it was $30 to stream it?
It is about $35 to stream it.
I would never pay that.
Probably about like $20 for me and my girlfriend to go get tickets to sit in a nice recliner and see it. And that's the other thing, too. I mean, it's like... No one rewatches movies, so there's no point in having it set so you can stream it multiple times. I'm only going to watch it once.
Unless it's like a once-a-year banger. There are some movies that I rewatch, but they're very few and far between.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, I have never rewatched a Marvel movie.
No. They're all the same. They are all the same trope.
I can probably count how many movies I've rewatched.
Okay, tell me, every Marvel movie follows this, right? Half hour of character development, half hour of conflict, half hour of resolution. Stretch those 3 parts out into whatever time frame you want to fit a third of the movie each, and that's like each Marvel movie
Yeah, but that's not really fair.
And I say that without
like most
seeing
action
any of them.
Well, that's most action movies.
That's what I'm saying. So they're it's the archetypes too.
The whole reason Marvel does well is because it has some light humor thrown into it too. It doesn't take itself as serious as like DC does.
I heard they made a lot of money poaching Australian actors too.
Yes.
Because they have a lot of talent, but they're underpaid.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but when they announced Thor, they were going to bring in Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth, who were both no-name actors at the time.
Right.
And they literally made them both like some of the highest grossing.
I heard they literally went to Australia and found these like dudes who are making these crazy good indie films. Yeah. Crazy good actors with a lot of experience. And they're like, we'll give you 100,000. They're like, shit, dog, hell yeah.
If you want to see some funny articles, it's just like people slamming Thor. It's like, Thor is going really bold by deciding to bring a no-name actor, Chris Hemsworth, and nobody Tom Hiddleston as their main cast. Instead of picking, our top picks of
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it was like Brad
Johnny
Pitt
Depp
like to play like Thor. And it's just like, they pick these no-name people, and it's like, now Chris Hemsworth is probably rolling in it and like one of the highest sought after male actors for action movies.
And I mean they're super gay, they're pretty good looking too.
Oh, Hemsworth is incredibly
good, dude.
Do you know how much money he gets paid just to take his shirt off now, basically? Like that.
Can I Google search that?
I don't know, but he's one of those people that like they can pay him extra to take off his shirt, make more money to take off his shirt.
Just Google search as long as Google search ever. How much money does Chris Hemsworth make to take off his shirt? God damn it doesn't tell me.
Yeah. But I mean, like, there's a lot of male actors that it's just like, okay, if you're good looking, clothed, here's your money. But if we can get you good looking shirtless, here's your money. And so a lot of them will like get real buff for it. I mean, like, big ones are like Christian Bale. He's done like a lot of weird body changes.
Right.
And he makes bank because he does it.
That method acting, and he goes so far into it for like months in advance to change his whole body. Dallas Buyers Club, he got like fucking, not Christian Bale, sorry. That was McConaughey and Leto got like crazy skinny for those two.
But I mean, like, Bale has gotten insanely skinny, and like he's immediately turned around and got incredibly buff.
Absolutely.
And then he's just like, now I'm going to become this fat fucking slob.
Right.
And it's just like, he almost has like a fetish for doing that to himself or something.
Right. Damn. Years ago when I met my wife and we were first dating, we were kind of talking about the concept of like your hall pass person, you know what I mean? Like the joking like, oh, if I had the chance to, have sex with this celebrity, who could it be,
Right.
I don't remember who mine was at the time. It might have still been Katy Perry. I won't lie. It's back in the day. But she told me hers. I was almost like, damn, can I change my answer? Like, that dude's legit.
Because, like, a big
it was Shamar Moore. The dude from Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
Derek Morgan from Criminal Minds.
So...
the smoothest dude on the whole planet. And I was kind of like, damn, me too. Actually, can I too?
Yeah. Another one that was a big body change was Chris Pratt. Because, like, you had him from Parks and Rec, this big fat guy.
But he was nothing at Parks and Rec.
Right. But then now he's like, buff, sexy guy for Guardians of the Galaxy and the Jurassic World movies.
I don't consider him a crazy transformation.
No, he's not a crazy transformation.
He just went from not giving a shit to, God damn it, they're paying me millions of dollars to give a shit. I'll give a shit.
I meant this more like he's one of those people that can now take off his shirt and make more money.
Yeah, not in the same way, though. I mean, yes, but, like... He's not a heartthrob. He's not seen as just that, like...
Well, I think he's a heartthrob with the people that remember him from The Office.
They like him. He's heartthrobby in the goofy in Parks and Rec. He's heartthrobby in the goofy. Like they like his character.
They like his
He's
character.
An awesome person. He's hilarious. He's funny.
And now he's kind of some eye candy for them too.
So now he's a little attractive and he's funny.
Yeah.
But he's not the dude that you see on the magazine.
No, he's no Fabio.
The fucking fragrance, and you're like, damn, I want it. I'd suck that dude's D.
Do you remember Fabio?
I actually really don't even know what Fabio looks like.
Okay, look him up. You've probably seen him and just don't realize it. Fabio is like that generic...
Fabio Lanzo... What's his last name?
Something like that, yeah.
Fabio Model?
Just look up, Fabio.
Oh, yeah, that's Lanzolini.
Yeah, he's like on basically... He was on every 90s...
Oh, yeah!
Erotic novel.
Dude.
I'm pretty sure they got... Yeah.
Dude, that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. He was basically holding a girl in like every erotic novel.
The OG long hair white dude who was standing there just flexing with that sexy face.
Yeah. And it had like the European accent.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And they've made like parodies of him now as like the
sexy guy. When I used to have long hair like that, people would always make these "okay Fabio" jokes at me, and I never understood.
You never understood.
And now I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I didn't have Fabio hair. I had like knockoff dollar store Fabio hair. Yeah. So I kind of see why they were just.
Well, he also probably didn't look like Fabio either.
No, he had like a shitty beard, fucking like dirty T-shirt, you know.
Yeah, but he was like the OG, take your shirt off, make more money guy.
Wow. Damn. Fucking Fabio.
Yeah. It was like, you can have Arnold or you can have sexy Arnold. It was kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger did action movies and he did like a romance.
Was he Arnold Schwarzenegger that was doing like Blue Steel? He was like the Zoolander Arnold Schwarzenegger, just like...
Kinda.
You don't have video. Why am I making all these fucking faces? Like, that will translate to the people listening right here. I was doing a lot of eyebrow moves for y'all out there listening. Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson's whining. You made so much money. Stop. Dude, and the reason they put it up on Disney Plus too is because restrictions lifted up, so they dropped the movie, and right when they decided to drop the movie, restrictions opened back up.
But also, it's because it's like people with the streaming service want a reason to keep the streaming service. Like, here's the thing: theaters are dying as is. Most people are more comfortable sitting on their couch and watching their TV than they are getting up and going to a theater. I mean,
when the last time I went to one was?
When?
2014.
Oh, there you go. Because like I was telling you, man, it's like people have to make it's an event to go out and see an hour worth of movie, but they can easily sit down at home and binge watch 4 hours worth of Netflix. Even if they're all movies that they're watching, not even a series.
And you want to get a drink and go pee and go do your shit real quick.
Exactly. You can have dinner while doing it. Like,
I'm so ADD. Like, I want to talk to my wife. I want to, like...
Yeah, and if it's a bad movie, I can just pull out my phone and...
Scroll for a minute until it gets back to a good part.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel that investment. Also, movie theaters make me so tired. Mm-hmm. I'm a weirdo. I don't want to say I don't like lights off, but as soon as the light's off, my brain goes into go to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, it's like lights off, I'm half and half. Like, if you turn the lights off, that's nice. I just don't want, like, some people have lights by their TV and shit. Just turn those off, so I'm not looking at lights.
I'm a weirdo in that, like, one of my best friends was if we're like watching a movie and just kicking it at the house, like there's no lights on, even if we're just sitting around the table chatting, he would turn on like a dim lamp. Mm-hmm. And it would make me sleepy and anxious, dude. It would get to the point I would literally have to get up and go flip his white light switch on. And luckily, this is one of my best friends since I was a kid, to the point I could look him in the face and just be like, yo, dude, like this dark light shit, like I just can't do it. So after like a year of doing that, I would show up to his house, and all of a sudden he would go turn on like 2 or 3 lights. I don't know what it is. It puts me to sleep. At night, when we're like even watching TV at night, I don't turn off the light until like I'm ready to go to bed. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't know why. I'm afraid of the dark, dude. Super scared.
No, but I'm thinking about it too. I'm like running some numbers in my head. You could probably get like a pretty good sized TV and a pretty good sound system combined for like $600.
I just was looking at TVs the other day. Actually, I'm about to buy one.
Yeah. Like, what's the average price for a nice size one that you've been seeing?
I'm going to go average size that's like 50-ish to 60-ish inches.
Yeah.
And those were close to 400 to 600 themselves.
Yeah.
So without any sound system. So with a sound system, I think
and you can get those low profile, pretty good sound systems for like $200.
Yeah, I think pretty decent. You're probably looking all in all closer to like 1,000, maybe 800.
Yeah. So like as a total thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like
for
4K and all that shit, and then it's like once
a smart TV too.
Yeah. And it's like that's an investment in itself, having a good TV and sound system. But it's like, okay, I'm going to use this anyway, and now it's a better experience than going to the movies because I'm either in my bed or a comfy couch that I've already invested in. And
dude, we haven't gone to the movie, like I said, in 7 years.
Yeah.
We bought a TV 5 years ago for $129 from Best Buy on a crazy sale. It's the size of this monitor.
Yeah.
In front of me, pretty much. You know,
you can get these size for like $80 now.
Yeah, and at the time they were like $100. You know what I mean? And it was like a Roku smart TV, which wasn't as popular, but it's lasted us 5 years, and it's now just finally getting to the point where like we push buttons and it's crazy slow to respond.
Yeah,
and it will just like reset on us every once in a while.
Yeah.
And at first I was hesitant to get a new one. Then I'm like, dude, I spent $120 on a TV 5 years ago, and I watched that thing like it's the only TV we have in the house. So it's like when she's working on homework, it's on the background. When I'm doing some other stuff, it's just like kind of almost always going.
Yeah.
So it's such a good investment. Buy a TV, not a fucking movie pass.
Yeah.
You bitches.
Well, especially because movie passes don't actually work anymore. You remember that big movie pass thing that was like, get tickets twice a month? Like free tickets twice a month?
Yes.
Yes, those things went under because, they weren't allowed to show certain movies because the movies were just like, well, I'm going to pull out of this theater if you support it. And the theater's like, we understand, so we're not going to support it. And then...
and that's all the best movies.
Yeah, so it's like you got 2 tickets a month for free, but... they were for
the two trashiest movies
of the B movies that weren't even worth going to see. And so it's just like, well, I want to go see Mission Impossible. No. But then they actually went under because they advertised. It was like 1 year that Mission Impossible came out, and they're just like, go see Mission Impossible. But they didn't say to use their service to get the tickets. So all these people were just like, why can't I get my tickets through you guys? And so every theater dropped them. And so like both guys that started it were just like, yeah, we're going under. We can't do anything about it.
You know, and when industries make big changes with things like that too, it can either be a sign of good change or a sign of like death to come. And I've heard AMC, like one of their biggest profiting things recently is they're doing like pay-per-view fights on screen.
Yeah.
Instead of paying like $80 for the pay-per-view, you pay $25 for an AMC seat to go watch the like UFC fights.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's smart and a good move or if that's them just desperately like cringing for anything they can.
What they should do is gut their seats in like 2 of their theaters and throw a bar in them.
There's already movie theaters that do this and they're dope.
Yeah, and it's just like if AMC does that across the nation, they could keep like majority of their theaters to watch movies and just have like 2 of them that are like
there's one in Salt Lake, what's it called, it's a bar movie oh my god,
yeah, but it's like not even like, you know, anything special. Just have it where it only shows like sports and games, like a sports bar just on the big screen, and then have it like not even movies half the time. Or, like, maybe have it do, like, movies maybe on weekends or something.
So that's what I'm talking. There's a place in Salt Lake called Broovies.
Okay.
Where it's, like, a bar that does movies. And then, like, each night of the week, they do different types of themes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I mean, just have them show, like, the pay-per-view sports or something.
And then on the pay-per-view nights, they do that.
Okay.
And then on big weekend nights, they'll get the licensing on big movie nights to do a movie drop. But then on, like, Tuesday nights, it's like 60s horror films, you know what I mean? And they show like oldies. And
I don't even think they should do that. Like, just do like Monday Night Football and shit.
I'm saying this already exists. I'm not trying to tell you about what should be.
Okay.
I'm telling you, this one already exists in Salt Lake. They're doing that. You know what I mean?
So they're doing like Monday Night Football in it and stuff like that? Or?
I don't know necessarily Monday Night Football because this one's more of a movie theater base. So it will be like on the weekends they do premieres. And it's like Saturday, Sunday night. It's Black Widow. It's Space Jam. It's all those. But then on Tuesday night, it's like 60s romance movies.
Okay.
And they're showing all like black and white 60s. And they do like niche films kind of throughout the week. Like,
just toss the movie genre as a whole. Just use the projector as a massive big screen.
Every bar does that.
Yeah? Like a full movie theater size?
Not full movie theater size ones, but I've been in bars that have TVs half the size of that wall behind you over there. You know what I mean? Like 90-inch TVs.
You know, I'm talking like
and they have size. And the other problem is and what bars do better than the reason they don't do that is because
they can show multiple
different stuff. So instead of having one gigantic TV, they put up 10 90 inches, and one's baseball, one's MMA, one's Family Guy, one's...
I gotcha.
And so, like, each person can kind of go sit by their perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's pretty much any good bar will have that set up. And then they put the games up around the pool tables.
AMC and, like, Cinemax and stuff should just start, like, got 2 of their theaters to turn into bars.
Have you heard of in Salt Lake City, there's 2 of them, it's 3 of them actually now, Pins and Nails?
I've heard of Pins and Nails, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a bar and a bowling alley, but they do the same thing. There's just TVs all over, and like it's not like, it's a bar that you can bowl at, if that makes sense. Like you're not only there
Vegas has a really good one called Brooklyn Bowl, which also does concerts. That's dope.
I wonder what will happen when cannabis clubs open with these.
When cannabis hits Utah, that'd be interesting.
Well, even in other states where it's already open, like does Vegas have like a cannabis club movie theater? You know,
I don't know, but I'd assume they should. Well, we've hit.
I was just gonna say we're out of time.
Let's wrap it.
All right, boys. Thank you for listening to all of us. Russell Westbrook, thank you for going to the Lakers. Rock and roll. I'm just gonna throw this out there, you guys. Some of it might be done by the time you hear it. Whatever. Check us out on Spotify, bitches. We're up. Peace out.